I'll invite Mr. Patrick Child, who is Deputy General Director in DG Research and Innovation. Mr. Child, he leads the policy of management in the implementation of the EU 77 billion of euro research and innovation program. It's a very rich people. Yes, by the Commission on Services, executive agency and other implementing body including legal aspect. Until April 2016, Patrick Child was Managing Director of the European External Service with responsibility for administration and finance, covering human resources, policy, security, and the budget. Sir, you have the floor, please.
Minister, State Secretary, Senator, distinguished colleagues. I'd like to start by thanking Minister Herduk for Research and Innovation of Romania and the Institute of Nuclear Research for working with us to co-organize these important events which are taking place here in Romania under the auspices of the Romanian presidency of the Council of the European Union. And for me, it's a great honor to be among so many of the world's leading scientific experts in the area of nuclear technologies. And I'd like to address in these brief opening remarks three main issues with you. Firstly, the European Union's ambition to become the world's first major economy to go climate neutral by 2050. Secondly, to talk about some of the benefits of Euratom as a platform for nuclear collaboration in Europe. And finally, I'd like to mention some of the new features of the future Euratom program, which the Commission has recently proposed. And so, to start, as Mr. Valeka has just mentioned, the alarming findings of the recent IPCC special report on the 1.5 degree Celsius scenario for climate change call for unprecedented efforts and much higher level of emission reductions than we have previously seen. This report is a wake-up call to the world, policymakers, the scientific community, and business leaders alike. We need the powerful mobilization of our citizens, including youth, for the case of climate change, and we can't leave this call for action unanswered. And the European Union is committed to lead by example. With its 2050 decarbonization strategy under the title A Clean Planet for All, the Commission has proposed that the EU should become the world's first major economy to go climate neutral by 2050. And this calls for a radical economic, social, and ecological transformation in our way of life. And it requires us, therefore, in the research community, to find new groundbreaking solutions and to put research and innovation at the cornerstone of a carbon neutral world. And I think that raises the question of where does nuclear energy fit into this overall picture, given, as we know, that our member states and our populations have very different views on nuclear power. Within the European Union Strategic Energy Technology Plan, the SET plan, which many of you will be familiar with, we have a framework that enables member states that wish to cooperate to do so. And we're very encouraged that the implementation plan for nuclear energy is supported by 17 member states and associated countries, and perhaps more in the coming weeks and months. But also, I think in our Clean Planet for All communication, the European Commission has recognized that there will be a continued contribution for nuclear energy in our overall energy mix. And this is part of the scenarios that we've developed and presented for the decarbonization of the economy by 2050. And where does Euratom fit into all of this, my second sort of main theme? Euratom is an excellent platform for us to work together at a European level on objectives where all member states agree, ensuring the safe and sustainable use of peaceful nuclear energy technologies. Euratom has been the framework in which, for more than 60 years, knowledge and competence in nuclear science and technology have been developed in Europe, and through international cooperation together with many others, the OECD, the Nuclear Energy Agency, and the International Atomic Energy Agency. Euratom would not have been possible if Europe was not continuously maintaining high competence underpinned by sound and advanced scientific research. And today, we are, I think, in the very positive scenario where all EU member states meet equally high standards of safety, radiation protection, safeguards, and security. And the European Union is the first major regional actor with legally binding regulatory framework for nuclear safety following the implementation of the latest directives, European directives on safety, waste, and basic safety standards. And therefore, we can ensure that member states can rely on one another, respect each other's choices, and citizens in different member states can be confident in the nuclear capacities and installations across their borders. And I'd like perhaps just within the overall framework of the Euratom Treaty to highlight some of the main features, the main benefits of the Euratom Research and Training Program, for which we are responsible in DG RTD in the Commission, working with our colleagues in other departments. Firstly, the Research and Training Program focuses on basic and fundamental research, but also on technological and industrial developments. So, for example, in the field of decommissioning, we need to transfer fundamental research into successful industrial projects while ensuring adequate training opportunities. And in the field of waste management, the European Commission is proud to support the launch of a third co-fund European joint program with 32 million euros coming from Euratom to support further integration of waste management organizations, technical support organizations, and other research organizations into a joint programming effort at a European level. And I hope that the conference in the coming days will give us an opportunity to discuss together the opportunities of this approach to joint programming. And I'd also like just perhaps to say a word about the work program for 2019-2020 that the European Commission has recently launched. The call under the fission part of this program was opened just recently on the 15th of May 2019 with an overall budget of 139.9 million euros. The program focuses on the safety of nuclear systems, radiation protection, and radioactive waste management. As in previous work programs, there will be a strong emphasis on education and training through the requirement that each research and innovation action under the work program should devote at least 5% of the total budget to education and training activities for PhD students, postdoc researchers, and trainees. The work program also includes 2 pilot actions with the Joint Research Centre on knowledge management and open access to JRC nuclear facilities, and I'm sure my colleague Shalina Vicheva, who's here from the JRC, will be saying more about that in a moment, and in particular on the objective that underlies it of better addressing synergies between the research which is directly funded and directly undertaken by the JRC and the indirectly funded research projects which are funded under the grants under the Euratom program. And finally, in our work program, there is, of course, continued commitment to fusion activity for completeness with a 328 million euro budget overall, which will continue to support the Eurofusion Consortium, and the continued funding of the JET program in Culham until 2020. But now let me perhaps turn to the future Euratom program and its links with the next research and innovation program, Horizon Europe. Our idea is that the Euratom program should continue to improve safety, security, and radiation protection to contribute to the decarbonization of the energy system in the long term. We've proposed a budget of 2.4 billion euros for the period 2021 to 2027. And some of the new elements in the proposals that were adopted by the Commission in June of last year are firstly that we want to do more on non-power applications, such as the use of ionizing radiation, not only in the well-established work that we've been doing for medical applications, but also for industry, agriculture, space, and other research applications. We would like to create stronger synergies between nuclear research and other research areas through joint activities within our broader Horizon Europe program, which will run in parallel to the Euratom research and training program over the period 2021 and 2027. And we hope too also to be able to reinforce synergies with other EU funding programs like the structural funds, which is of course very important when we're looking at the development of capital-intensive large infrastructure installations. In our proposal, we've also established a single combined set of objectives covering both direct and indirect research activities in order, we hope, to bring greater coherence and a stronger focus in the work that we're doing both in DG RTD, Research and Innovation, and in the Joint Research Centre, and to therefore make maximal use of our combined resources. Running through the whole program is a continued focus on the need in Europe to maintain and develop our human capacity, human capital in nuclear scientific areas. And it's imperative that we maintain and further enhance the number, competence, and excellence of our research community in the nuclear sector. And so I'm very pleased that also in this proposal we have included the, I think, long-awaited idea that we should bring for the first time nuclear researchers under Euratom within the Marie Skłodowska-Curie program. So just to conclude on our proposal, I'm very grateful to the colleagues in the Romanian presidency for the progress that has been made in recent months on the draft legislative text. And as they hand over to the next presidency, I mean, we're looking forward to continued intense efforts to finalize the legal text so that we can ensure a smooth transition to the new program in the beginning of 2021. And so, ladies and gentlemen, in conclusion, I'd just like to underline that with the 2050 decarbonization strategy on the Clean Planet for All, the European Union has set itself the ambition to become the world's first major economy to go climate neutral by 2050. And I see it as the challenge for the nuclear community represented here today to find its place in this increasingly low-carbon energy landscape in the European Union. And I believe that this means meeting head-on the political concerns about safety and security in many of our countries and communities. And I think that even though there are, and I guess will continue to be, clear differences between our member states about the place of nuclear energy in the overall energy mix in Europe, the Euratom program and the work that we're doing in the SET plan give us platforms to work together on precisely these issues. And in the new Euratom program that I've just presented, I believe that we will have exciting new opportunities to work together in the future and to maximize the contribution that European collaboration can make in this vitally important economic sector. So again, I'd just like to conclude by thanking the organizers of this excellent event, and I'm very much looking forward to the results of our discussions in the coming days. Thank you very much for your attention.